my name is Joanne O'Riordan and I'm absolutely delighted to be here at the Shine Festival on behalf of the Shona Project. So you may have seen me dotted around the sports stage at some stage in my life, if you managed to get there yet. I'm a sports writer with the Irish Times, where I predominantly focus on women in sport, and I also host a podcast with hersport.ie. But I suppose the reason why I'm here to talk to you here today is about my disability activism, how to encourage you to get involved, a little bit about my life story, just so you know who I am, and everything in between. So let's get started. So I was born on the 24th of April, 1996, and I grew up in a family of five, with three older brothers and one older sister who simply adored me. And by adored, I mean my eldest brother Dennis threw me to a chandelier, knocking out my two front teeth. We used to practice WWE moves on each other all the time, from Batista bombs to tombstone pile drivers to RKOs out of nowhere, and even walls of Jericho. So my brother Dennis enjoys telling people he was the first person to put a limbless person in the walls of Jericho. Now, if you don't know what that means, feel free to look it up basically and take it from there. So I was born with a very rare condition known as Total Amelia, meaning I was born without all of my limbs. I am only one of 7 people in the world born with this condition, but I suppose in a way it makes me a little bit unique and stuff. So yeah, there's no medical reason as to why I was born this way, but I'm delighted to say I've never allowed my disability to hold me back. And I'm continually striving to create a world that is inclusive, not just for able-bodied people, but for people with disabilities also. So, being born with no limbs is often perceived by others to be a severely debilitating condition, and I can safely say that this was certainly the case by some of the doctors who first saw me. But my parents, my family, and I, we decided to ignore whatever the doctors had to say, and we decided to take life into our own hands. To be honest, I have a confession to make. I hate the word disability. I hate when people use this word to describe me, and I hate the way people look and think of me as being weak or different. I, just like you and others out there, have the ability to achieve anything I want in my life. I don't look at my life and see the word disability. I only see ability. So I have been extremely lucky in the way that I've been allowed to express my thoughts, ideas, concerns, and suggestions to anyone that I've met. Just because I have no limbs does not mean I have no voice. So by April 2012, and on my 16th birthday, I was invited to the United Nations in New York, where I delivered a landmark speech to the world's leading women in technology on how technology has transformed my life, and was one of the first people in the United Nations to get a standing ovation. I suppose for an able-bodied person that would be pretty cool, but for someone who is about 2'6" in stature and has no limbs, I would say it is an unbelievable achievement to capture the imagination of the UN's top technology representatives. So that same year, in 2012, I was the recipient of the Rehab Young Person of the Year Award for my contribution in highlighting the needs of people with disabilities. So I've never shied away from the challenges I face. And each and every day, I always try to do something that will test my ability even further. Life for me has no limits. I always say the only obstacle in life is ourselves. In order to achieve the impossible, we must believe in the possible. It is not people with disabilities that are the problem, it is society's attitude that is the obstacle. And as they say, there's no disability in life, only a bad attitude. In 2014, my life story was made into a documentary called No Limbs, No Limits, which was directed and produced by my brother Stephen. We nicknamed him Steven Spielberg for those 4 years because one, he was the cheapest version of Steven Spielberg, and two, he also is a pain in the arse when he's got his camera with him. But the documentary received its world premiere at the Cork Opera House audience to a sellout audience of over 1,000 people, making it the largest world premiere of an Irish film or documentary to be held within Ireland. Since then, No Limbs, No Limits went on a nationwide cinema release throughout Ireland, was broadcast on RT1 to over 433,000 viewers, and has been seen in over 16 countries worldwide by over 15 million people. On top of that, I suppose, on the 24th of April in 2014, and on my 18th birthday, I was invited to meet with President Michael D. Higgins at his official residence in Ars as a formal acknowledgement for my ongoing work in the field of disabilities. As great and all as it was meeting Michael D. Higgins, 4 days before meeting him, I was honoured to be in the same room as my idol. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge sports fan, so I'm a huge Barcelona football fan, even though it's breaking my heart at this stage. But for my 18th birthday, my mom arranged for me to meet Lionel Messi, and that was on Easter Sunday, and he scored 2 goals against Athletic Bilbao, and I could definitely confirm that Jesus Christ rose in the form of Lionel Messi on Easter Sunday. I was there, 90,000 people witnessed it, guys, it's true, like it happened. In that instance, I'm seizing every moment, and my plans are always developing. I was honoured with a very prestigious JCI Top Outstanding Young Person of the World Award, or Miss Universe as I like to call it. So the award has been given to the likes of John F. Kennedy, Henry Kissinger, Jackie Chan, and even Elvis Presley. So your standard WhatsApp group chat there. And I went to Japan to accept the amazing award and put forward the ideology of it is not the disability, it is the ability on a global scale. I referenced technology earlier and how important technology is in my life. Every time I say this, this is when the internet tends to cut out. But I use technology in every aspect, be it my car, you may call it a wheelchair, I call it my car, my iPhone, my MacBook, or anything else a 24-year-old needs in her daily life. So one day, my family sat me down in front of our old computer, and before long, I was banging away on it with my chin, nose, and what I like to call my left hand. I played games that would help me to learn my ABCs and my small words, but curious as any other person, I then began to explore other ways and means of expressing myself. And just after my second birthday, I was given my first ever car, put on the grand old age at the age of 2 on the road, and yeah, got my first ever wheelchair, or my car as I like to call it. So this was the key that would unlock my true independence because, let's face it, life is about living, and we all want a quality of life that is acceptable to all of us. So nobody could have ever imagined how it would be possible for me to drive this car, but I did. In August 98, my first set of wheels arrived home, and before long I was whizzing around in and out of the house without a care in the world. I had my legs, and I now had my freedom. I could go left, right, stop, swing around, moving forwards and backwards. I swerved in and out of the doors, the kitchen, the living room, the garden, taking bits of wall, bits of door, bits of ankle with me wherever I went. My car has allowed me to run, walk, and achieve all things otherwise deemed impossible. It even has a horn to let people know I'm coming, so this is your 2-second warning if you're on headphones. So nobody ever expected me to drive this car. But with the skills I gained from beating my siblings at PlayStation, I was an absolute natural on the road. I suppose technology has played an enormous part in my life. It has allowed me to express myself in a way that has opened up so many doors with endless opportunities. So I always tell different schools, different kind of school talks that I go to, that if they are interested, so this is my phone, if you are interested in learning how to text like me or do different things like that, if you want to give it a go, text a classmate, a friend, a parent, whoever it may be, and simply just use your upper and bottom lip, your nose, and your chin, and I suppose text someone as quickly as possible. So if I literally write a 2-second note, so I'm going to write, "Hi, how are you?" And it's done. So I hope you can see that. So yeah, that's basically how I do it. So if you're in the mood to do it, like absolutely go free, go mental with it. So I suppose at the end of the day, you've all heard about me expressing myself, my activism, and kind of different things that I have done. I suppose at the end of the day, I am just a normal 24-year-old who loves hanging out with my friends, going into cardiac arrest, watching Barcelona and Cork GA games. Who knew 30 men could let you down in one go? As I mentioned earlier, I'm a sports writer with the Irish Times professionally. I'm a podcast host with hersport.ie, and our podcast is called It's Just Sport. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. So I also have a degree in criminology from UCC. So I basically study drug users, sex offenders, terrorism, and all the fun, gory stuff. A question I suppose that I face all the time is, do I ever get angry, or do I ever get upset, or do I ever get down in the dumps because I was born the way that I was? And obviously, sometimes I do. Like, there are days where I just, like, blah. But I'm very lucky that I have great family, amazing friends, and more importantly, a strong sense of self. I always remember Carlos Puyol, the former Barcelona captain, saying, "Power is inside the mind, and only the strong can endure." So I have a bunch of sports metaphors that I'd like to kind of share with you. So the first one is called rowing the boat. So rowing the boat has nothing to do with football or sports really. Rowing the boat is just a mindset. So rowing the boat means doing things the right way and accepting the results that come. It's about being dedicated to the process of winning. Winning every single day by being the very best version of you that you can be. It's about not ignoring the past, but instead always trying to learn from it in order to get better. And more than anything, it's about creating a community that has a positive aura with each individual contributing. So together, through love and trust, you all push forward together. So the process of rowing the boat is broken down into three very simple parts. Firstly, you've got the oar. That's the energy you bring to your life, what propels you forward. Obviously, an oar is the only thing that can move a boat. And positive energy breeds love, and love breeds success. Secondly, there's the boat itself, which is made with sacrifice. It's the thing you're willing to give up in order to achieve something you've never had before. So the more that each individual sacrifices, the more of themselves that they're willing to give to others, the bigger the boat actually gets. When you have a big boat full of people willing to sacrifice for each other, you can brave any single storm that comes your way. And finally, there's the compass, which symbolizes the positive direction that you choose to follow. Ultimately, your compass is determined by who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with the wrong people, you're probably going to do the wrong things. But if you surround yourself with elite people, you're probably going to do elite things. It's as simple as that. My other lesson to you is about golf ball. So I'm a huge golf fan. I'm a total golf nerd. I think everyone's allowed one boring sport in their life. So did you know that when they made golf balls originally, they made them quite smooth? So much different to the golf balls that we know today. And they hit them over and over and over again, and then they realized something. The golf balls that had dents were being hit, that were a little bit rough around the edges, that they would actually travel much further than the smooth ones. So for anyone who's going through any hardships, or anyone who has had a tough time and has had to overcome it, just like the golf ball, that's the design in order to go further in life. And really, you getting redesigned in order to travel further, maybe prosper ahead of others. So I put together a list of what we call some friendly reminders everyone needs to hear. And I think they're obviously very important given everything that's going on at the minute. But most importantly, I suppose, to everyone around your age who might be struggling or going through something, you never really know. So stop living for others and live for yourself. Life is short, so don't waste time on trying to gain others' validation. Live more in the moment. Take a second to just breathe and forget about yesterday or tomorrow. Stop wishing that your life could be different. The right things and the right people will come at the right time. Be grateful for the little things in life. Take responsibility for your life. Stop blaming other people or other things for your own downfalls. Be the kindest person that you can be, not only to others, but more importantly to yourself. Take care of yourself. Rest when you need to. Drink some water and put on that face mask. Don't drive yourself into a burnout. Don't wait for the perfect time to do that thing. Don't wait for yourself to become confident or the new year or that spark of inspiration. Start now because there is no perfect time. Treat every day as a new beginning. You can start over whenever it is you feel you need to. And do your best. Even if you're not want to be right now, keep going because hard work always pays off. We're obviously here today to celebrate Shine, to celebrate the Shona project, and everyone who has turned up here today, and all of you who have shown incredible commitment, determination, and motivation to be where you are today. And I can only encourage you all to never lose your spark. Because according to American author Bruce Barton, if you have anything really valuable to contribute to the world, it will come through the expression of your own personality, that single spark of divinity that sets you off and makes you different from every other living creature. So every single one of you is strong, smart, and talented. And I know because I've obviously seen this already. But you're the ones who have the freedom, if you choose to use it, to think of new possibilities and crazy ideas. Because these are the only things that can help us become a country that is equal and fair. People ask me all the time, what's an activist? How do I become an activist? And different things like that. And what I tell people is, an activist is anyone who cares about something and has a talent that they're willing to put towards it. So every single one of us needs to prioritize. What is it that touches your heart the most? What I always tell people is, I could teach you about the law, and I could teach you about the issues that are occurring today, but I can't teach you how to have heart. You see, we don't need a movement full of experts. We need people who care deeply to stand up and offer what they have, because there is a role for everyone. It's not about everyone trying to become the next, I don't know, Greta Thunberg or Malala or even Martin Luther King Jr., because even he had clergymen and journalists and artists like Harry Belafonte. It's about how we connect to our neighbour and offer our skill set. As Mr. Belafonte has said, don't pay me back, pay it back to the cause. There are obviously loads of people here today, and if you look around you, you will see leaders and innovators of all types. These are not just your workmates or your classmates or your peers or your workmates. They are your allies and they are your partners. They are your confidants and they are your collaborators. People working together and taking an active role in the development of their school or their community. Thus, the development of your country can achieve things once considered impossible. I think it was Howard Thurman, a modern civil rights activist and educator, who said, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive." What the world needs is for people to come alive. There's absolutely no reason you cannot do the same if you work together, help one another, and mentor those behind you. As I said earlier, every single one of you is strong, smart, and talented. And together, you will truly be unstoppable and achieve great things. I cannot be happier for all of you and the incredible work that was put into this event. You cannot lose the hope and ambition that brought you here today. You have before you a wealth of knowledge, information, ideas, and opportunities. But most importantly, you have each other to help you to create the school you want and deserve, the community you want and deserve, and the country you want and deserve. And always remember, you live for an average of 70 years, but if you leave people something to remember you by, you shall live forever. So thanks very much for listening to me here today. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to follow me or, DM me or tag me on social. So I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. So it's been a great honor for me to be here. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed.